There is no question that Whiskey Row is the place to be in Prescott when the sun goes down, but when the sun comes up, the center of activity and the heart of the Prescott community is Courthouse Plaza. Courthouse Plaza is known as the jewel of downtown Prescott. The 4-acre plot in the center of town was created as part of the original site plat recorded in 1864. That was the year that Prescott was founded as Arizona's territorial capital. Why Prescott? Well, 1864 was also the year gold was discovered here. Surprise! And both Congress and President Lincoln wanted to secure the area's mineral wealth for the Union. Now, speaking of gold, be sure to stick around until the end of the video to learn the secret of the gold that's buried today under the courthouse. Prescott's first courthouse was built in 1878. It was a red brick structure that seems to have suffered a few mishaps over time, including a fire in 1892. It's said that the building's bell tower was so unstable that extra bracing had to be added to keep it from swaying in the wind and ringing the 800-pound bell. The building was wired for electricity in 1894, but by 1916 it was crumbling so badly that the city gave up and approved its replacement. Architect William Bowman designed the neoclassical revival-style building, and the cornerstone was laid with great fanfare, of course, on October 19, 1916. So what is sealed inside the time capsule in the cornerstone? We may never know. It was supposed to be opened for the centennial, but due to concerns with the structural integrity of the building, it was left in place. 2016 came and went. Now we do have a list of some of the contents, periodicals, documents, photographs, but what else could be in there? Doc Holliday's stethoscope, Virgil Earp's lawman badge. You know, I'm a little bit curious, but not so curious that I want to stick around until the building comes down. In fact, by the time this is opened up, the only thing left of me will probably be, and that's a big if, this video. The contract for the construction of the courthouse stated that it was to be completed by the end of 1917, but it would not be finished until the following year. Prescott residents took great pride in the fact that the high-quality granite used to face the courthouse and form its impressive columns was quarried locally, though today there are differing stories as to exactly where it came from. There is a very popular Prescott myth that the sheer rock face at the western end of Granite Mountain marks the spot where the granite used to construct the courthouse was quarried. In truth, the granite came from the Larkin Quarry, which is off Gale Gardner Way, less than 2 miles from the site. So there's a Prescott myth busted. Now here's something else you probably didn't know. The highly skilled stonemasons that were brought in to do the detail work on the courthouse were from Scotland. Where else? Courthouse Plaza has been the site of a number of historical events. Teddy Roosevelt's Rough Riders gathered at the plaza on May the 4th, 1898, before heading to San Antonio at the outset of the Spanish-American War. And Barry Goldwater announced his candidacy for President of the United States from the courthouse steps in 1964. As you wander the grounds, you'll find a number of commemorative statues, as well as some very moving memorials. The newest addition to the statuary and memorials here on Courthouse Plaza is this monument to the Granite Mountain Interagency Hotshot crew. Now there is so much I could say about this memorial. We've waited a long time for it. Maybe I will in another video, but for now, I think it's best to just let it speak for itself. Though there are cities with more architecturally significant courthouses, manicured gardens, colorful planting beds, not all of those are as treasured by local residents and have for many become part of their daily lives. Every year, the Plaza hosts over 130 activities, from antique shows and art festivals to a summer concert series, outdoor movies, poetry readings. Crowds also gather on the Plaza to watch holiday parades, as well as the starts of the Whiskey Row Marathon and the Whiskey Off-Road Bike Race. When you're on the courthouse grounds, one thing you will notice immediately is that Prescott residents love their dogs, and that's something that's easy to see anytime you stroll the paved pathways around the courthouse. Shops, art galleries, and restaurants surround the plaza, and of course, the saloons of Prescott's famous Whiskey Row are right across the street. It's interesting to note that the west side of the plaza actually became Whiskey Row after the fire of 1900, when many of the burned out businesses set up temporary tents on the plaza so that the drinking, the gambling, and the entertainment could continue uninterrupted. In the spring and the summer, the plaza is shaded by a magnificent canopy of more than 170 trees, including 127 American elms. At the holidays, long after the brilliant green leaves have faded and fallen, visitors are treated to the spectacle of the courthouse lighting, an event funded by donations from residents of Prescott and one that contributes to Prescott's title as Arizona's Christmas City. You know, it's almost impossible to avoid visiting Courthouse Plaza when in Prescott, and chances are there will be something going on no matter when you are in town. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button before you go, and I hope you'll subscribe to my channel as well. I would really appreciate it. And now, what about that buried treasure I mentioned at the start of this video? Is Prescott's courthouse built on a gold field? Well, that's another urban myth, but this one happens to be true. It may well be that back in ancient times, what we now call Granite Creek ran over the site, depositing gold in the creek bed. Now, back when the courthouse was built, the soil was assayed at $40 a ton, but that was way back when gold was only $20 an ounce. If you had just a bucket full today, that would be worth $40. Thanks so much for watching. Cheers.